Good day. This is Deborah Wright with a screencast for ATM F101X Unit 12, Forecasting Alaska's Weather. We'll be taking a look at forecast and what actually happened during the week of March 24th through March 28th. So to start, if we look on March 24th, overall we did have pretty much clear skies over the interior part of the state. We had a couple of high pressure systems to the north and east of us. There was a low pressure system that we should note in the Gulf of Alaska towards the Juneau area with an occluded front over here and showers with that low pressure system. We do have another low pressure system in this area, but we're going to pay particular attention to this one over the course of the week. There was another low pressure system towards the Russian southern coastal area in the West Bering Sea. And so we'll be paying attention to that. On March 25th, we do see this pressure system has dropped slightly by a few millibars in the southeast of Alaska within this occluded front. Cloudy skies, it doesn't seem as though they actually had showers for that particular area, but we now have low fronts in the southern parts of Alaska towards Anchorage, and also there should be one to pay particular attention to for the Kotzebue area, and again that high pressure system in the Arctic region above towards Dead Horse area up here as well. On the 26th, we do see some movement again with this low pressure system. It actually rose slightly to 991 millibars, and we see that we continue to have this high pressure system to the in the Arctic region of Alaska to our northeast area with some with just slight winds. We didn't have a lot of wind activity for the interior, in particular in Fairbanks during that week. But we should also notice the low pressure system out here in the West Bering Sea as well. And we do have some more cloud cover, especially around the Kodiak area as well. It should be noted that Fairbanks maintained steady temperatures during that week, although they were slightly higher than average, but they were cooler at night than average, and I believe this is due to the clear skies that we continued to have at nighttime. As we look towards March 27th, it should be noted that that low pressure system has moved even further away from southeast Alaska, and the pressure system came in at 990 millibars, but it is further away. But there is some more wind activity, stronger winds pushing the weather activity up towards the interior of Alaska. We do have a cold front that developed in the West Bering Sea, as well as this warmer front, which is moving towards the Kotzebue area and such. It should also be noticed that this may explain why temperatures will begin to fall in the Kotzebue area by the 28th when we look more in depth at what happened during the week in each of our weather station areas. Now this is where things start to get interesting. On Wednesday the 26th, the weather forecast actually shows a cold front in the in the Western Bering Sea over here, and we see that there is this low pressure system with clearer skies but with an occluded front in the southeast area. And what actually appeared to have happened was that we had more of a cloud cover over much of the state, and we do still have that occluded front over here, and then another low pressure system that has developed to the east of Kodiak and in our Prince William Sound area over here, forgive me. And then another occluded front, instead of that cold front, an occluded front has developed in the area south of Russia. I'd also like to point out that in the weather forecast on Wednesday, they do point out these two low pressure systems within this occluded front and this cold front. But as you can see, we actually had the two low pressure systems move away from each other, and we have showers instead in this area behind this occluded front, as well as mentioned the cloud cover for a good part of the state, especially moving towards Kodiak area. So overall, for the Juneau area from March 24th through March 28th, temperatures held pretty much steady, although they were cooler at night, below average. But during the day and starting around the 28th, temperatures did begin to climb in the Juneau area. During the same week in Kodiak, the temperatures held steady, but they did begin to drop off as well on the 29th of March. During the same week, Talkeetna saw some pretty steady temperatures close to their averages, although they did have some slightly, let me see, I guess slightly normal or higher than normal temperatures starting on the 28th, as did the areas of Kotzebue. They held pretty steady temperatures, but those began to drop starting around March 28th, and we can see it's probably due to this high pressure system here and the occluded front with the moisture activity approaching as well. That could explain why those temperatures fell. And then looking at Dead Horse, yeah, they actually forecast higher than usual temperatures, but their lows were slightly below normal, except on the 27th here, and this is for Dead Horse, so that may have something to do with the high pressure system here and this warm front as well. And there you have it. That's a look at the overall temperatures for the state of Alaska during March 24th through 28th. Overall, during this exercise, it looked as though Juneau had the most consistent or correct weather forecasts, whereas Fairbanks had some of the most incorrect forecasts, as well as Kotzebue during that week. There were several errors in the calculations. I do believe that overall persistence seemed to represent more of weather to come in all of the areas overall. Question number 2 in our forecast assignment asked for why there were more inaccuracies in Kotzebue than Juneau in terms of geography, coastal, continental, and such. And I think that a lot of that has to do with the high and low pressure systems that were in this area, but also I think it has to do a lot with possibly the population of weather forecasting, maybe observation stations. There may be more in Juneau, but also, again, it was with persistence that I think we had the most accurate forecasting. So I think maybe Juneau overall has higher success rate with persistent forecasts than Kotzebue would. But that could be, as mentioned, due to the amount of weather stations and observers in that area. And since question number 3 pertains in particular to a cooling trend in Craig, I'm not going to address Craig because it wasn't part of our assignment. I've already discussed this with the instructor. But in looking at the weather maps, I would say that possibly that the cooling trend in Kotzebue may have been due to that low pressure system, and then the cloud cover I think the cloud cover possibly maybe kept it cooler at night and kept the temperatures from raising overnight or rising overnight. And then finally, the fourth question mentions that the temperatures were lower in Kotzebue than forecast, comparing the cloud cover and looking into why, as an experienced forecaster, they may have predicted the lower temperatures. I do think that it has to do with persistence as well, and it may just be part of what they usually see in the springtime at that elevation. And there you have it. Thank you for listening to my screencast for Unit 12.